So starting off the day by harvesting more potatoes. These are the potatoes that I planted on my new property, and they gave a pretty good harvest. Not as well as the volunteer plants have done this year, but I'm still happy. So these were the ones that I showed you in a previous video where I mulched them with just bagged soil so that the potatoes weren't exposed to the sun, and I really didn't have a lot of green potatoes at all when I harvested, so that seemed to have worked out pretty good. And I was able to harvest a bucket full of potatoes from this one pallet, so not a huge harvest, but yeah, I'm still happy with that. And then I'm planting out some fall brassicas. I'm not really sure. I think this is cabbage that I'm planting here. Might be something else. Yeah, I don't really remember what this is, but I'm planting it out anyway. And I'm just doing my normal, what I always do when I'm planting out. I make the holes and then I amend with, I think I'm using bone meal and alfalfa here, and then just putting them in the soil. And I was really low on water, so I didn't water these ones in, and when I came back to look at them, it was during a really sunny week, and when I came back they were all dead, so not the best, so not really successful. But yeah, so I'm amending with, this is some type of organic, just all-purpose pellets that I was using, and then I think I also put down some alfalfa pellets. And lastly, I think I used some bone meal. And yeah, obviously it was a bit of a waste because the plants didn't end up thriving here. But whatever I end up planting here after this crop will benefit from the fertilizer that I have put down here. So this is the bone meal that I'm putting in each hole. And then just planting out the seedlings. I also ended up covering these, and I was thinking that it was gonna stop like cabbage moths and caterpillars on these, but I think that in the end it just ended up heating up the soil and the plants too much because they were crispy and dry when I looked at them next time. Here are sunflowers with tarnished plant bugs. I think I used an ID app on these bugs, and you can see there's plenty of them. So I had a big issue with that this year. And it's been on the sunflowers, but the sunflowers, I pick them when they're not really open, so it hasn't affected the flowers. But with another crop, it's been really bad. It's so bad that I haven't been able to harvest them. I don't remember what crop it was, but maybe it's the straw flowers here that I'm getting out. Yeah, the straw flowers were horrible. They were really damaged by these bugs. And then there was one more plant that I was thinking of. I can't really remember now, but so the first thing that I removed from the bed was Persian cress, and then the straw flowers, and then I'm just planting out. I'm not sure what. I don't really remember. This was a while back, but I'm planting out some type of flower here. Maybe they're not zinnias. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it'll come to me, but I'm planting out a flowering crop here. And I'll update on how they're doing next time I go. And I'm sure when I see them, when I'm on the plot, I'll remember what it is. I also wanted to just show you some other things I planted out. These are zinnias that I planted out. These are marigolds and celosia that I planted out on this day, but I figured you wouldn't want me see me plant everything out. This is a mixed bed, and these are some fall brassicas that I planted out under that same cover. But the soil that I put in these beds was a lot more moist, so I think these beds did better. And then we're at our country house where I put the onions that I harvested off the new property to dry, and they were crispy dry now, so it was time to clean them up and put them away. So this is what the onions were looking like. Not the best harvest. I'm usually not really happy with onions when I grow them from sets. I feel like they don't really bulb up as much as I want, and a lot more of them go to seed compared to when I grow them from seed. But still, it's still good to have homegrown onions that we can use. So I'm just cleaning off the outer layers of dried skin, and then cutting off the dried leaves and putting them in a crate so they have some airflow when they're in storage. And then I'm just going to continue doing that until I get all of them done. So you can see here, it's about half of this crate. This is how much we got from one pallet wood planter. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Looks good. And then the next project that we started was building a birdhouse for a specific type of owl. It's the largest owl I think that you can build birdhouses for in the theme event. And this is why I want owls, or why we're building this birdhouse, is because on the new property we have a lot of voles. And that was primarily why I didn't want to make beds for growing in the soil. And why I put down the plastic and built the beds on top of the plastic. I figured if I want to expand or want to start to work with the soil instead, because it's very like loose and good soil, no rocks or anything like that. A lot of herbicides, obviously. I've told you about that before. But maybe I'll be interested in improving the soil that I have instead of just covering it. So I was thinking, what are natural ways of getting rid of these voles, not moles, voles. And so I read up, and it's like snakes and owls and other type of predators that can help get rid of the voles. So we're building quite a large birdhouse, and we're going to hang it up, and hopefully an owl moves in. And I love owls. They're so just pretty and fascinating and interesting. Who wouldn't want owls living on their property. I mean, is there something bad about owls? I feel like there isn't. So I'm just really happy to provide them with a habitat, and if they were to move in, if an owl was to move in into the house that we built, even if it didn't even help me with the voles, I would be really happy. I just feel like it was a really fun experiment, and I'll update on it. So the plans said that it's good to drill holes in the bottom so you don't have to like clean it out. So if water gets into the birdhouse, it can drain out. And it has a little roof that's a little bit slanted, so it's covering the entrance. And the entrance was quite large. It's 15 by 15 centimeters large, and it said that that's what this type of owl prefers. I wanted to build several different types of owl or bird houses for owls, but my property isn't that large, and it said that they need quite a lot of space, like in between where you can place. So if you have a birdhouse for an owl, there needs to be like 1 kilometer until the place where you put the next one, and I don't really have those like distances where I can place birdhouses, and if you place them too close, it can cause like rivalry, and they can hurt each other, and that's obviously not the point of building these and placing them on the property. So I just figured we'll go for the largest one, and it also said that this owl that I'm building, the measurements is what that owl wants. It's the type of owl that is most comfortable living close to humans. So it's the one that's like easiest to attract, and also the one that needs habitat or a house the most out of all of the owls that live in Sweden. So I figured it would be great to try to build for an owl. And so my partner was helping me, and also our daughter was happy to help. She's really into birdhouses right now, so when we're walking in the forest or whatever we're doing, she gets really excited if she sees a birdhouse. And she wants to stop and see if there's any birds inside, and yeah, she's just really curious about it right now. So this is the bottom that I was talking about, that there are holes in the bottom that we drilled out, as you can see here. And so now we have all the pieces, like the walls and the bottom, so we're just attaching them to each other now, and then it's going to be done. So I think the most challenging part of this is going to be to hang it up, because it needs to be at a height of between 3 to 10 meters high up off the ground, which is a lot, obviously. And I don't have like a lot of material on my new property. I do think that maybe I can like borrow a ladder from a neighbor or something. And we have my partner has a plan for how we can like attach it to the tree without hurting the tree. Obviously, if an owl was to move in and have lay eggs and they hatch, it says that it can be the birdhouse. It needs to be able to carry up to 20 kilos. So that's a lot. But we'll see. But this is the finished product. This is what it looks like. And yeah, we just followed the directions on the plan, and it looks great. We're happy with it. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.